I want to be a billionaire, and in order to be a billionaire, I have to touch a billion lives. So why just touch them when they're only working with my brand? Like, why not help people that are outside of my brand or organization where I can actually reach and have a different, I guess, following of people who don't necessarily need to love the brand. I ask everybody in the chair and everybody in everything. You know, even after this, I'm probably gonna say, did you like this or did you love it? And so if you liked it, I'm gonna say, okay, what do I have to do to make you love it? Do you guys realize every time you talk to somebody, you're selling yourself? You're selling yourself, not even the product. Like, product is easier to sell, but you have to sell you to get them to come back.
Zenoti presents Growth Diaries, the fascinating stories behind the best brands in beauty, wellness, and fitness.
Today on Growth Diaries, we are joined by Alexandria Grado, the passionate stylist and entrepreneur behind the Glam House, the rapidly expanding beauty sanctuary with multiple locations across Colorado, dedicated to hair, nails, lashes, and more. Alexandria's story is inspiring for anyone trying to create success on their own. She launched her first studio in the basement of her home in 2016, driven by a passion to elevate hairstyling into a form of artistry for long hair, extensions, and full highlights. Since then, the Glam House has grown into several stunning locations in Denver, Lone Tree, Westminster, and beyond, all the while championing a culture of confidence, transformation, and community. In this episode, we'll explore how Alexandria transformed a passion project into a thriving business, how she has made helping others and educating others a priority, and why making every client feel like $1,000,000 is built into the brand's DNA. We will also dig into her strategies for scaling without compromising on vibe, tribe, or excellence. Let's dive in. So, welcome to Growth Diaries, Alexandria. I'm glad you could make the time to be here.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Great. Before we get started, I thought maybe you could just summarize what is Glam House, like just to give us a color into what is the business and how does it look today?
Yes. Okay. So the Glam House was started in my basement. It was something that I envisioned it to be like the house of fashion, but like the house of glam, right? So I wanted everything inside of that, like whether that's boutique, nails, hair, lashes, skin, all the things. So we started with hair because that's what I do. And then we grew to now we do waxing, facials, head spa, skin, nails, spray tan. We do a lot of services, right? Um,
And
so
how many locations now?
we have 4.
All in
Denver or in Colorado. In Colorado,
Okay.
yes. So we have like Westminster, Northern Colorado, Southern Colorado, and then 2 in Denver.
Great.
Yes.
So that's the kind of the context. But in addition to running your 4 locations, normally I would expect, okay, you'll be busy just opening more locations, but you actually spend a lot of time, I noticed, on coaching and helping other people in terms of training. So can you expand what do you do in this space and also why,
I know, yeah. So I I got to this point and I was like, dang, I'm like a coach to all these girls. Like every girl or every person that's ever been in the salon and worked with me, I feel like I've coached them, I've mentored them. I've built, like, I guess the Glam House has built other successful salons that have left the Glam House. And I'm like, I might as well help people, like, do this, like, for real. Like, make it structured, make it a system, make it a real thing. So, like, a real career path or a real roadmap for somebody who's looking to actually grow their career and they're just from being behind the chair.
So that's cool. So there could be people who leave your business
Yeah.
and go start a business, but you're giving them the playbook and the coaching of how to go about doing that if they do that.
Yes. So the thing is I haven't done that in the past, but I realized that like during my journey and I was like, I should probably be helping these people more. I shouldn't be so I guess I want to say stingy with my information or with my knowledge, like this knowledge is power. And if I can help people, which like my vision is, if I want to like I want to be a billionaire and in order to be a billionaire I have to touch a billion lives. So why just touch them when they're only working with my brand? Like why not help people that are outside of my brand or organization where I can actually reach and have a different I guess following of people who don't necessarily need to love the brand.
So, in addition to doing such coaching programs, I notice you also do very active on social media in terms of spreading snippets of information and all that stuff as well. Maybe it comes from you want to be a billionaire. How does that fit into that?
I know, right? Well, I would say that that helps the coaching, because it gets people to know like this is who I am, like this is what I've established, this is where I'm going now because this is also new for me. Like I wasn't given that kind of information before. And so I would say that it's me just showing everybody that now I'm open, I'm a little softer, I'm not as rigid or as like holding things as close or secretive, I guess.
Mhm.
Um so yeah, I think it's a way of me giving back.
Cool. That's nice because I've seen, and yeah, I mean, it does take away time from making money and running your salon and all that stuff. But you're pretty diligent about keep finding ways to get some tip or the other every day and educating people. And by the way, they say if you have a goal, like, I'm glad you actually have a goal. A lot of people would be shy to say it, saying, I want to be a billionaire, right? The moment you do that, the universe can conspire to make things fall in line over time. So,
Yes. And I mean, and that's what I say now, right? And I mean, I can't really guarantee I'm going to want that in the future, but as long as I'm actually touching people's lives and inspiring for transformation, like that's my goal. Like I really want to see people transform, not just make them feel good about themselves. I want to actually see transformation. And that's probably like the root of where the coaching came from was the transformation. Cuz beauty, I could like do that all day and make people feel inspired by my words and just like feel beautiful when they leave. But to see transformation is like in the coaching for me.
and you actually are very passionate about how you make people feel. I think there's this notion of you want to make people feel like $1 million when that
Yes.
means they really have to walk out. So tell me more how this passion came from, in the sense, this about how you make people feel. I don't know what the grassroots of that passion is.
The reason why I want to make people feel good is it's just how I want to feel, and I want to be remembered. And so that's I think a part of my legacy. So maybe that's why.
That's why I remember you had this tip saying, don't ever ask someone, would you like the same haircut as last time? Because you want to leave a
Never.
mark
Yes.
with people.
That is one of the biggest things. Like, so don't ever ask them like if they want to do the same because you want to make sure that you're making them feel special every single time. And then also I ask everybody in the chair and everybody in everything. I'm gonna even after this, I'm probably gonna say, did you like this or did you love it?
Ah,
And so if you liked it, I'm gonna say, okay, what do I have to do to make you love it? Because I need to make sure that you feel that confident about it.
mm,
So it's a metric for me.
cool. But it looks like obviously that helping people to feel good and about themselves, and the work you do is something inherently you're passionate about. So yeah,
Yes. I think it makes me feel good too at the end of the
great,
day.
great.
Yes.
So let's go back and look at how you started this business. Obviously, you didn't come from, you didn't have like lots of money and everything
No.
to start this. And so tell me, I know you were a single mom and you were, working in a salon, obviously in the industry,
Yes.
blonde. Where were you working?
Blondies.
Blondies. Yeah,
Yes. I
that's
was
right.
working at this amazing salon in Denver. It was called Blondies. And and I still talk to the founders of that. Well, one of them, she was my mentor. And in that time, I realized like I loved this question, by the way. Like so I realized I didn't know how to communicate what I needed. And in that moment, because I hadn't gone through therapy or like just really worked on myself and I thought I was perfect. Back then, I was like, "I don't need help, no." And so I didn't know how to communicate what I was feeling, and I felt in that moment that I was, not being, like, valued or appreciated, like, my time, my work, and everything that I had put in, and so I left the salon, and it's a blessing in disguise because that's where the Glam House came from, so it's amazing, but it was, that was what happened, and so when I left, I was like, "Oh, I don't have any money. Hold on, like, how am I gonna do this?" So that's why I started in my basement, and then when we found that location, the first location, I definitely had to call my dad.
Yeah.
And just ask him if
Yeah.
he could help me.
But then you really had to, if I recollect, had to build a whole business plan and make it pitch. It wasn't like that was ready to say, here you go.
No, my dad would never. No, with my dad, and he doesn't remember these things. So I'm like, "Daddy, come on, like, you don't remember that?" But it's good though. Like, I'm glad that my upbringing with him, because it was like me and my dad. So he was a single dad. And so him and I, like, he raised me a lot, like I would say, like a boy, like with just like tough love. And anything I needed or wanted, I needed to have a plan of how I was gonna get it, how I was gonna, like, why I wanted it, like was it a need or a want, and then like how I was gonna pay it back, whether that be with interest or not, type of thing. And depending on where he was financially, it was with interest or not. And and also if he saw the passion in me and if he believed that um, I could pay it back, you know? And I mean, and I don't think it was necessarily about me paying it back either, just to be clear. Like, I think it was more like he wanted to see that I had value in his work and in his money
Yeah.
and everything he's done.
Cool. That's good. I think it helps to have a tougher bringing than, we tend to be more together
Yeah.
as adults. So if you're enjoying the show, we would really appreciate it if you left us a review on Apple Podcasts. It only takes a minute and it helps others find the podcast. You can also follow along on YouTube and Spotify so you never miss an episode. So yeah, so you got the money, but then to start this business, how did you go about getting the location, get lucky with the space? Because a lot of first-time people have a challenge just getting space and getting started.
Yeah. Okay. So we were in my basement for 2 years.
Yeah.
So 2016, 2018. And then I started like hearing all the girl, and I had 4 chairs in my basement and a lash room. So too many people working in the basement. It was crazy. And so I just like heard them. I felt it. I was like, geez, we need a space. Like, this is crazy. And I had to talk to my neighbors. I had cones outside of where people could park. Like, it was wild. And I'm just like, mind you guys, I see like 3 or 4 people, like I'm quadruple booked. Like, I'm that type of stylist and I train my girls to be able to do that. Anyways, so a lot of people were at my house all the time. So I finally went to um this guy I knew. I used to do coat check at a club long time ago, and he owned the building. And so I was like, well, he must own other buildings. Like, if he owns this building, he has to own other ones. So I was like, hi, do you by chance have a building that has a salon in it? I don't know. And it was literally so random. And I'm at his car dealership because he owns another business, right? And so he's like, you know what? I do. He's like, my cousin, his wife is getting rid of a salon, and I was like, but I really need it to be on Colorado Boulevard. And he's like, it's on Colorado, Mississippi. And I was like, no way. Like, I was like, the first time I ask, I get what I want. Like, this is crazy. Like, why didn't I ask sooner? No. So that's how it happened. And then I went and looked at it, and then she said the amount of money she needed, and I was like, oh, I don't think I could do that. So that's when I called my dad. But yeah, that's how it happened. And it was probably like a 2-month process. It wasn't that long.
Okay.
Yeah.
And since at that time when you started, you're taking a risk in terms of a new place, putting up the money, getting all the.
Yeah.
How were you so sure? And where did you get your early customers from? I mean, to fill the place.
Well, I would say that they came with us from the house as well. So I don't even I'm just blessed. No, just kidding. I don't even know. So when I know
That
there.
you are, because you asked for a space and you got the space immediately. So
Right? No, thank you. But I think what I did, I remember this. Okay, so what I did was in the marketing early stages, I literally posted everything about the experience, not necessarily hair. Like I was more focused on like what you're gonna feel when you come here, what we're gonna look like when you come here, like how you're gonna walk in and be like, whoa, I wanna look like them. Like I wanna be this, I wanna be here, you know? So that was my marketing strategy in the beginning. It's changed since then, but that's how I think I got our
Cool.
store more busy.
So you did a lot of social media kind of stuff,
Tons.
which was more around how people feel and
Mhm.
what their experience would be in
Yes,
the place. Okay.
yes.
Nice, interesting. I've not seen too many people focus in on that. So that's a good tip for anybody who is
Yes.
looking at that. And so over time, what other marketing things have you, tried out? What has worked for you as you've expanded and added stores?
I would say, a lot of, like, uh, testimonials. You know, like, after the guest is done, then you just say, would you do a quick video for, you know,
Mm.
telling us how you felt in the store?" And we asked, like, 3 different questions, and at the end, it's like, "Did you like it or did you love it?" You know,
Mhm.
type of thing. That's a huge one that helps. Another one is just I mean, I'm gonna stick with it. Like, the other one that's huge is just the making people how you make them feel. Like, literally, like, the experience. It's about the experience. It's like what to expect when coming here, you know?
Cool. So it's not like you spend a lot of money on marketing, ads, and all that kind of stuff. You do it through a lot through social media and digital stuff.
I do a lot through social media, and I don't spend money on Meta. I haven't done that yet. But I do a lot through SEO. Like, my website is pretty powerful. Like, that's something that I learned early on. And so I learned it through a friend actually. They were just like, hey, they had a tattoo shop. It's actually my son's dad.
Mm.
And he has a tattoo shop and he was like, you need to get your website like powerful. And I was like, I feel like I do need to do that.
Mm.
And so then I just talked to this guy. And so yeah, I think a website is powerful too, you know, with SEO and Google.
Mm.
Google's huge.
Okay. So, but it's interesting that you're engaging your customers and getting stories out of them and using those. But it shows it takes some effort to do that. A lot of people are in a rush from one to the other, but that kind of marketing has more power if you
Well,
take the time.
and I think, like, a big thing about, like, getting guests to be able to do a testimonial like that is, again, how you make them feel. Like, in my chair, I could have 4 people deep, you know, like, they're all over.
Mhm.
But when I'm with you, like, you're gonna feel like you're the most special and the only thing there, you know, like, the only person, the only thing that's in my mind, even though, like, I know I have, like, all these other pieces. And so I think it's just about great customer service. Like, you have to have that amazing and don't get me wrong, like, we've had people write reviews about our like, some bad things that have happened, you know, like, in our salon, so and we learn from them, and if you're willing to learn from those bad, you know, reviews or whatever, then and just enhance everything, then I think you'll keep getting those guests that are willing to give you that type of testimonial and be willing to see you when you're 4 customers deep and all that, you know, so
Great, great. And so that's great that you opened the first store, but how did your next stores come about? How did you fund them? What happened to transpired for these stores to come together?
yes. So the second store was a boutique type of store, and I just wanted to see if it would work. So that's just me being like an entrepreneur, risk taker, and I was like, let's just try it."
Mhm.
And I did, and it went well. And I decided to change the course when I learned a powerful tool that the my Google ads were competing against each other for the same thing, and I was like, "No, my money I'm spending double, why didn't anybody tell me?" So, at that time, then I was like, "Okay, now I need to switch, and I need to do my skin services finally." So it, like, pushed me in the direction of where I wanted to go anyways. I just was maybe more scared at the time to do it, you know, like, and just jump to that. So, that's what that store is now. And the 3rd location, it was actually the woman, the cousin, you know, the cousin's wife
Mhm.
of the guy who showed me the building and stuff. So it was her coming to me and saying, so the store in Colorado, Mississippi, it was dark for about 6 months to a year. I don't know exactly. And she came to me and she was like, "You know what? I see what you did with this place, and I've never really seen a business that's the same business go dark to where you are today, and I would love to invest in you and open a store." And I was like, "What?" okay. And I said, I want to go south. And so we did, and so that's how it happened.
Cool. So that's interesting. So it's like somebody else made a bet. So you opened this third store with this lady together, kind of
Yes.
thing. So she invested some money and you did all the work
I
around
did
it.
all the work. So
Cool.
yeah, that store was one. It was like investor. I didn't put any money in.
And then you, after that, also you opened another store.
With the same woman.
Same moments.
hmm
Good. Good.
But we opened north this time.
Okay.
And what we do with those stores is we give the girls opportunity to have ownership in the store and take a profit share
Okay.
so that they're also invested in the brand, and then they're able to build also their income. I mean, it's a win-win both ways.
Great. Great.
Yeah.
So maybe that's somewhere you can speak, talking about the stylists and the people. How do you go about, like, there are a lot of well-known bigger brands with more money.
Yeah.
And how do you go about attracting talent and finding talent for your places?
Mm, we do some recruiting. I try not to poach like girls at other salons nearby because I don't think that's classy. I know I have done it in the past and I didn't well, my team has done it in the past and I was like, "Oh, you reached out to that salon? Why? They're my friends." No. So I think I'm just honestly true and genuine and I think with my social media what I do on my social media, it just speaks to who we are and when they come, I know girls are like, "Oh, it's cuz at my other salon they do this and this and this." And I'm like, that might happen here too. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, like, it's a salon,
Mhm.
and, the thing that I don't do is, drama. Like, I will not have drama in the salon, like, immediately, it's out. So, it's not that I'm, like, trying to, poach people, I guess, or find people, it's more that if we're that what we're doing is attracting people, and
So you feel the lot of the social media work you do and all the activities you post and it also helps you find all the people, attract the right folks to come work with you.
Yes, and I think also, like, we do one-on-ones, we do team events, we do fun photo shoots, videos, all these different pieces that are, um salons are doing them now, like, I see them do them, but I don't I think our one-on-ones, though, are what sets us apart, our education is what sets us apart, like, we're doing things that not everybody, is offering. 401k, health insurance, like, these are new pieces that are coming that well, 401k is there, but the health insurance is coming in, and, I know a lot of salons that are maybe medium sized like me or small, I don't know what I am, small probably,
Yeah.
but smaller don't do that,
Mm.
so I think it's, I just want people to be good also personally.
Thanks for tuning in. If you'd like to support the podcast, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. It really helps spread the word. You can also subscribe on YouTube and Spotify to stay connected. Yeah, that's unusual. Yeah, smaller businesses to offer 401k and healthcare and
Yeah.
benefits and all that. Great. And in terms of employees, in terms of retaining them, or how do you measure their performance? How do you track? And does everybody know how everybody's doing? How do you approach it to keep everything fair with your staff?
Yes. So we go off KPIs and our KPIs are based actually. We just had a situation where so remember my dad raised me? So I'm like a little masculine and a little rigid in those areas, right? I'm like numbers are numbers, they don't lie. This is what it is. Boom.
Mhm.
And then everybody's like, "But be nice, be softer." And I'm like, "Ooh." And it's not even that I'm not being that, it's just I was raised to a certain way, like bring a plan, whatever. So then I asked some of my very feminine team who's on like the leadership board, and I was like, "Hey guys, can you help me feminize this?
Mhm.
Like make this a little softer, make it inviting for women because in our industry, like men and women, but just softer." So they started doing a restructure and we're calling it the feminized restructure.
Mhm.
And then I went in and did a softer version of KPIs, but they still have performance based in them. So now there's three categories. So the first category is performance. So it's going to have like your normal average ticket, RTS, like retail to service, utilization, retention, all that.
Mhm.
And then you're going to have growth. And growth is going to be education internally, externally.
Uh,
And then also like upselling services. And I know that sounds also like performance, but it's a little different because you're growing in services that maybe you didn't do before.
okay.
And then 3 is going to be culture. And culture is going to be something where you're going to like shout out a team member. You're going to get X amount of reviews from, with your name mentioned. So and it took me about 6 months to create the other 2 because I needed them to be measurable. Like for me, I just need things to make sense, like, and I'm like, I can't tell somebody that they're just like, you're just a good person. Let me level you up. Let's make you some more money. No, or you're like super talented. Like I didn't want to go off talent or like good people because I think everybody's talented and everybody's amazing. I needed it to be more measurable. So it took me a minute to build that and we did it.
And now, so with these measures, do you make it transparent? Does everybody know where they stand in the organization?
Yes. And I would say, I mean, this is so brand new. So we're gonna have to do another podcast in like a year and see what the heck happened. But I would say yes, like they usually do in the performance. But now that this is new, we also integrated, they're called integrity points.
Mm-hmm.
And so the integrity points are gonna help us with more of like the culture side of things.
Cool.
And are they on time to work? And just a bunch of different things that are going to help us really track where they're standing. So at the very moment, this is so new.
So nice, but you have 3 distinct buckets: performance, which is my actual numbers of performance; growth is my personal growth, how am I growing; and coaching is, of course, to
Culture.
coacher.
Culture.
Yeah.
It's how am I in the team? Because I believe if you have a strong culture, you will have strong customer service.
Ah, okay. Cool. Around your whole culture within the
Yes.
system. Great, great. So in terms of the actual services that you offered, when you started, you said, I think you started with hair as your passion and services, but today, how have those services evolved, and, what have you added and why did it come about?
So it started with hair, and then we did lashes in the house as well. So when we opened up the store, it was hair and lashes. And like I was saying earlier, like I really wanted to be like the house of glam, you know? So the Glam House, so it has everything in it. So we do lashes now, and we do skin, spray tan, body waxing. So any waxing, like body waxing, and then we do head spa. And head spa to me is like so new and so fun and so relaxing. I love it. But yeah, so we do all those now.
Okay. So your team, whatever will fit into this notion of glamorousness
Yes.
is what we'll keep adding. That's your guiding factor of how you think of services. Okay, nice.
And eventually it'll all be in one spot.
Okay.
Yeah, I just need to get really good at
And
roast.
how important has retail been for you in terms of your business?
Super important. I think retail it's the health of your business, I mean, it's gonna make it so that you can pay your overhead, like within the 4 walls overhead, not like pay everybody. So within the 4 walls. And also like if you guys can just look at it like a win-win, it's also gonna give them extra money to spend on whatever, play money or whatever they want to call it, your service providers. So it's like it's a win-win, and it's like working smarter, not harder, because like I'm already seeing you, for example. I know you need product or you use product at least. I don't know if you need it right now, but you use it. So I'm going to recommend what's best for your hair type. And if I'm your professional, then why wouldn't you want to buy from me?
Yeah.
You know?
So while the world does believe that the profession, when you see a professional, the actually consumers are willing to listen to the professional, and often consumers may not even bring it up because they don't know to bring it up. But there is generally a resistance among many stylists that they don't sell products. How do you navigate that?
This is like, if my staff is watching, no, they're going to be like, I literally talk to her about this all the time. So my biggest thing was I needed to change my KPIs. So I needed a perspective shift, right? Because the girls or the team was feeling it was like about sales, sales, sales. And I try and explain, I'm like, do you guys realize every time you talk to somebody, you're selling yourself? You're selling yourself, not even the product. Like product is easier to sell, but you have to sell you to get them to come back, because you're doing pre-booking, that's sales. So I think the perspective of it was just a little different. So what I tried to do was, because another thing that I said, it was actually, I did a class on yesterday, I think. Yeah, yesterday morning. And I told the girls, I said, do you guys think that we just sell to everybody like whatever product we see? Like, I'm gonna take this water and be like, this is, you need to buy it right now, you know? Or do you guys believe that we sell, or do you think we sell just to make extra money? Like, what is it that you believe why we sell? And then they were like, well, some were like, yeah, you sell just to sell, whatever. And I said, okay, look, like I asked one of my top sales girls, I was like, would you sell something to someone that didn't work on their hair? And then they were like, absolutely not. And I was like, and neither would I. So I need you guys to take that into your mind and just know that like if you're in my chair today and I know you don't need something and you have everything that I've already like given to you, I'm not going to sell you something else. Like so I sell when there's a need, and there's I would say 80% of time, even higher, probably 87%, there's a need. Like guests need a product that you know is best for them. So if you could just look at it like, I know that I can't like make somebody with level 1 hair to a level 10, which is platinum, right? Or blonde. So if you're looking at it like that, then be the same with products. Like, I know you're gonna need this product. Like, just being more knowledgeable about it rather than, oh my God, I'm selling. Like, don't look at it so dark. I don't know. I don't know
But I
how.
like your concept of saying as a service, you are selling yourself for the next haircut every time. Don't you
Yes.
realize that? So, but actually, a product is often, you're only doing something for me in the chair when I'm there. But if you recommend the right retail, you're helping me the remaining part of the month when I'm not in your chair so that I come back versus only helping me for that
And
half an hour.
and the thing is about it is like, would you like, what's the worst that could happen? They're just gonna say no? Like, and that's what I think it is it's just the rejectment and the like, just feeling, like, defeated, maybe. Maybe all day they told you no. But don't give up because, the people are gonna start saying yes to you. You just have to, like, maybe reword what you're asking or what you're trying to convey, you know? I believe every hairstylist can sell because you do it all day long, by the way.
Yeah, great, great, great. And in general, in terms of career growth wise, in terms of hairstyling, how do you think of career growth? Somebody joins your organization, I'm just going to be doing what I'm doing, or how do you define growth for them?
Well, I do, I really ask them, like, what they wanna do, like, what's their career, like, what do they envision for themselves, you know? And I did have somebody the other day tell me, like, I wanna be chosen for who I am, like, for a higher position, not for how I perform. And I said, "My job," and I love who you are as a person, I told her, I was like, "But my job is to make sure that you're on the right path to where you wanna be in life," like, that's my job. It's not to go hang out with you on the weekend and, like, all those other pieces. So I think, like, I really dive deep on that piece, like, especially in my one-on-ones, and people who are really open and receptive to it, I will do I mean, I do it's almost like a coaching session in my one-on-ones. Like, when I sit with them, I'm like, "Okay, where do you wanna be? What are you doing? And is this, like, you not selling product, is that actually supporting where you wanna go?" Or you not pre-booking people, is that actually supporting you not going to education? Is that like, what is it that you want? Do you want to be an educator? Do you want to be an influencer? Like, how can I help you? So I think like I just break it down. And in those conversations with them, I haven't like developed a script like the way I have for my coaching program. But with them, it's more like maybe because I know them a little bit more, like
Yeah.
I just feel them.
So it's about meeting them where they want to be,
Yes.
like whatever their direction is versus pushing them in a certain direction.
Yes, and I only push if somebody says like, the girls even say this, they're like, "Okay, don't tell Yaya until you're ready, or Alexandria, until you're ready to go." Like, if you're like, "I wanna do extensions or sew-ins," like, don't tell her because she's gonna make it happen in, like, a day.
Yeah. Cool.
And that's the truth.
And so, if somebody was starting off a salon in this industry today, what kind of advice would you have for them?
Well, I would say I thought about this one kinda hard because I was like, "You know what? What would I want?" I would want clarity, I would want prices that are profitable, I would want, like a clear path of like almost like a 1, 2, 3 step, and so I would hire a coach. Like when I was saying all those things, I was like, yeah, I would just hire a coach. Like, I would need a coach, somebody who's gonna actually work with me and, like, get to know what my vision is, not somebody who's just gonna give me, like, a sheet that's print that they can just print and check off. No. Like, I think I would wanna work with somebody one-on-one and, really, really dive deep on what my vision was.
That's very nice. I mean, I think good advice to say go find yourself a coach so that you navigate your journey better
Yes.
because it's not just one magic trick or some
No.
advice that is going to pull it off.
It's not, and, yeah, and you need prices that are profitable, and I think that's really hard like, just like selling products, right? Like, we have the hardest time as service providers. Once it comes to the checkout, we're like, "Bye." Like, "Can I leave? Like, why are you guys talking about money right now?" It's so uncomfortable. So I think that that is a big piece of it.
Cool. And since you brought up pricing, what experience have you had over the years in figuring out how to price things and services? Do you price it same across the board by the stylist, etc.?
So I have levels in our salon, and so I just make it a certain percentage up per level, and I make sure it's the first level is covering plus profit.
Cool. But have you experimented? Like I've heard some people like the other day I was talking to somebody, Van Council from Van Michael Salons, and he was like, somebody wanted to charge double of what they were charging. And he said, okay, let's go ahead, let's try it. You're going to charge like instead of $50, you're going to charge $100 and let's see what happens. And he said, look, it was surprising that people were willing to pay for it. So it's like sometimes you underestimate what the guests are willing to pay and kind of thing.
Yes, I agree with that. So, isn't there like a saying? I don't know. My dad always tells me it, but I don't remember it. But it's something like, if if you think it's worth that and somebody's willing to pay it, then charge it.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So, I think yes, just make sure it's profitable. And if somebody comes and if somebody were to come to me, because they did in the very beginning, they were like, yeah, yeah, our prices are not good. Like, they're so cheap, like, the other salons are charging double what we're charging, and I was like, "Oh, really?" I was like, "I didn't know," so then they kinda brought that to me, and I did adjust our prices accordingly at that time, but I think if you have people willing to pay those prices, go for it.
Cool.
Yeah.
And what do you think you would do differently if you look back over the last 8 years? Saying, is there something you would have changed in how you executed? If you're enjoying the show, we would really appreciate it if you left us a review on Apple Podcasts. It only takes a minute and it helps others find the podcast. You can also follow along on YouTube and Spotify so you never miss an episode.
I think again, like, I would say the coach part is big because it would've made me slow down a little bit, and it would've made me been more strategic and have strategy, like, with what I was doing versus, um, maybe guessing and feeling it out because I'm a lot about feels, like, and how I feel in that moment, which I think is important too because energy is big. But I think I would've hired somebody who would've made me say, "I need you to think this through," and I would've closed each circle versus like, "Oh, that one's kind of let me go to the next one." Like, I'm bored.
So that's good. So you applied the principle you shared for others, that you would have applied it better for yourself by having a coach, kind of thing, the advice you had for others. Great.
Yes.
And so, in terms of, what is the thing which stands out possibly of your attributes or your character, which really helped you with your success in your viewpoint?
I would say, my resilience and just never giving up, honestly, like, and just and I think my word. My word is like, my dad always told me that your word is all you got. So if if you say you're gonna do something, you have to do it. And I just couldn't let people down. So now I'm learning like to think about what I say I'm gonna do because I would just say, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it right now. And I would get in a lot of trouble because I would have a lot of things on my plate. And yeah, so I think my word. My word is also.
That's a good point. Like, I think this notion of, not many people view it that way, that your words are very powerful and what you say, you do kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Great. Cool. So then, yeah. Do you have a favorite brand or business that you look up to and you've learned something from them?
Well, I have a lot, and I think they're all for different reasons. So I would say like Aloe and Chick-fil-A. Like I love their customer service and how they attract guests
Mhm.
or people into they almost like lure you in, with like how they talk to you and their effortless communication because they're all talking on like a walkie, or like an earpiece. Um, I would also say like Starbucks and Target and how they're so collaborative and I mean, you could just see their logo and know them anywhere,
Mhm.
you know? Louis Vuitton, Chanel, I would say in the sense of timeless, and they've had to endure like a lot of different eras and reinvent themselves almost and collaborate with like young artists, like whether it be I think like I don't remember his name, but one of them is like working with like he's a rapper and he's working with the designers, like so I think that that type of stuff is super cool. But yeah, so I look up to a lot of brands for a lot of reasons. And it's more like they're not my favorite. I'm just like really intrigued by how they like what their focus is.
Mm. I think, yeah, all entrepreneurs or people who start successful businesses, one is, of course, they're resilient, like you said, they never give up. But the second is they observe other brands. And by observe, I mean they listen to everything that's going on around them and learn from it. So
Yeah.
it's good that when I asked you for one brand, you had multiple brands which you have looked at and admired them for different reasons. Great
Yes.
stuff. Yeah, great, great. So, if you were to say in one sentence or sentence or two, why should someone choose Glam House as for their service?
I would say with the energy inside there, we kind of make you feel like you're at your best friend's house and it's magnetic and it brings out your inner beauty and power with how we communicate with you, how we make you feel. We make sure you love every moment of it. And if you don't, we'll make it right.
That's nice that a lot of people could say we give you the best haircut, we have trained people, but it's like about bringing out the inner beauty and power in
Yes.
people. So you're really focused on making them feel like that. You said $1,000,000 when they're walking out,
Yes.
and I think that's the real energy of the whole industry because, it's about how you make people feel so that they do well in their life, whether it's
Hmm.
that next interview, the job, whatever they're trying to
Yes.
do a sales deal.
It is. I mean, I used to tell girls that like didn't have a boyfriend or something.
Yeah.
I'd be like, this is the one hair. This is gonna be the one. You're gonna find that guy.
Yeah.
So it's just about like just really empowering people. Like that's it. So you'll feel empowered when you
Yeah.
come.
Yeah. And what do you do for because I'm sure you're pretty busy between all the things you do, but for your own personal wellness, how do you keep sanity in life?
Well, wellness for me is just staying consistent with where I am or where I'm going. And right now, I would say that I meditate, pray, hang out with my kids, my family, and try and be as gracious as I can with my team.
Mm.
So
Great.
that's where I'm at right now. But I do believe it's being consistent, really what it is.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So, because I've always found, by the way, people who are clear about wellness, because wellness is not about having a six pack or going to a marathon, as you said, it's about being consistent with where you are and where you're going.
Yes.
And being at peace with it gives you the power, it gives you the
Hmm.
peace and
It does.
inner peace kind of
And
thing.
it also makes me feel like, oh, you did it. Okay, it was just 5 minutes, but you did it. Like for me, I did it for me, not for anyone else, not for like the way I look, just for me,
Yeah, yeah.
you know?
Nice. I mean, because I have some people cooking gives them,
Yeah.
as their routine, but being very consistent with where you are, well, that's a very unique answer, but I agree. Gives us peace in life,
Yes.
knowing that. Yes. Okay,
Yes.
great.
Thank you.
So, in the next 5 to 10 years, so where do you see Glam House going? What's your plans for the business?
Well, I do want to get a couple more stores outside of Colorado. I want like four more. And then we're going to Mexico
Oh,
this
okay.
year, actually.
Nice,
Yes,
nice.
my next trip remember I was, like, trying to make this work with you? So, I'm actually going to get my dual citizenship for
Okay.
Mexico,
So
yeah.
now then you can open salon and
I can actually do it now, but it's just a lot of fees, so with the dual citizenship, it would make it be that I'm a citizen of, Mexico, so then yeah, and my vision is, over there is really to empower people and make them feel like they have there's so much of that vision, like, and it's so, like, close to my heart, you know, for me, so I'm super excited to go over there and, like, just show them what glam is, you know, like, and I wanna do trainings and courses, like, with our extensions that are gonna be coming soon, and that's another piece that's coming is extensions, but, I think Mexico is gonna be a really big and really warm project.
And when you expand, you're saying in terms of locations, both here, 4 more locations, and then Mexico. How do you decide who do you work with? Is this company owned? How do you pick? What's your belief system and how you approach that?
Well, right now, the 2 stores that we have that are with the investor, those are licensed out. So, my goal would be to franchise. So I'm hoping that within those 5 to 10 years that they can be franchised.
Mhm.
If they continue to be licensed, I'm okay with that, but I'd rather them be licensed more than company owned. And then, how do I decide with who? I I look at people who are, like, in that middle stage where they could use an extra umph, you know, and it's mainly women, but I look at women that are in that area and I just say, "Hey, do you wanna invest?" I mean, I've talked to a few people so far, and I wanna make sure that I make their life better than what it is right now. So that's
That's
my
nice.
vision,
I
yeah.
mean, it's like I think there are a lot of women founded businesses and then, empowering women to, make a better livelihood at the end of it kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of women that are in an area where they make really good money, but they don't own a house and they don't like keep enough of their money somehow, but they're not even like extravagant
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
So, I'm just like, wait, okay, let me help you. So I try and I don't know, like, I don't know what my purpose is, but
Mm.
I feel like I'm just here to just touch a lot of lives.
So yeah, it was absolutely a pleasure, Alexandria, because though you run a business still in its early stage of growth, the passion with which you care about others and the passion with which you want to help others comes across in everything you do, both I think in the store and online. And so it was a
Thank
pleasure to
you.
hear you share some of those perspectives. So
Well, it was amazing to talk to you, and honestly, I'm honored
thank you.
to be right next to you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So thank you.
Growth Diaries is brought to you by Zenoti.